Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news that involves our favorite team in the NFL. That is, of course, the Cleveland Browns. Thank you to everyone who has liked our previous episodes, who has subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate it. And everyone who has scanned the QR code, become a member of the Browns Latest Dog Pound, and all of you who get your comments down there in the viewer comments section. Well, no one is going to convince me that the Bengals beat the Browns at Huntington Bank Field yesterday. We're also going to go over what we learned from this game, and then we'll turn the page and look ahead to the Ravens. We'll find we'll find the storylines to follow as the week progresses, as we got to turn it around and head to Baltimore for another division game, week 2. And then down in the viewer comments, I don't have time for clickbait thumbnails. We'll talk about that as well. But first things first, let's recap this game that we 100% just gave away. I'll start it like this, folks. If I were to tell you that we were going to hold Joe Burrow to 114 yards passing and Higgins and Chase to 59 yards combined, would you have thought we were going to win the game? There's the Bengals stats. Held Chase Brown to 42 yards, and he had that one touchdown. Outside of that first drive, Chase didn't do much. 20 carries to get 42 yards on our defense. Burrow, 114 and the touchdown to Fant. Higgins and Chase non-existent. I told you, if you had him in fantasy, don't play him. Ward will lock him down. He did. Then, well, let's glance at the offense. I mean, can you ask for anything more out of our offense? How about Grandpa Joe? 290 yards passing. I mean, can you ask for anything more from Joe Flacco than what he did yesterday? I mean, he was on time, on target the whole day, taking hits, doing everything he needed to do. 31 of 45, had the touchdown. Dylan Sampson came out of nowhere. Remember, Jerome Ford was supposed to be the workhorse, but Dylan Sampson just took over. Ford, non-existent. We'll talk about that in a minute. Jerry Jeudy led all the receivers, but he had that huge drop. 5 for 66, which is about the stat line I figured he would have had. Sampson, 8 catches for 64 yards. Harold Fannin, 7 for 63. Yeah, those are rookies. Njoku, 3 for 37, but he did some other things as well, so he was solid. Tillman, had a great game. 5 for 52 in the touch. The Bengals didn't beat us. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Here's what beat us. We got rid of Dusty Hopkins and for Holy Schmidt. And yeah, everybody was saying Holy Schmidt, either on the extra point or the 35-yard field goal that would have given us the lead late in that game. It is such a shame that this keeps happening to this team. I don't know what it is with kickers and this team, but I tweeted out after the game, here's where I'm at with our kickers. I'm to the point now where, you know how they find a college kid to kick a field goal on game day on Saturday? Here's what I say. If the kid makes the kick, send him to Cleveland and he'll kick for us on Sunday, because we couldn't do any worse. It is so frustrating and so pathetic that we can't get a guy to make an extra point or kick a 35-yard field goal. That is 100% what it came down to. Yes, there were drops and things along the way. There were that, but 100% what it came down to. If this is exactly the kind of game I said was going to play out. Low score. That first drive we had was exact. Look at that. We ate up half the quarter, 12 plays, whatever it was. Like it. Here, let's see if The Bengals go 12 plays, then we go 16 plays for 58 yards, 9:45 possession. Those are the kind of drives we come back and tie it. Kept them off the field. The offense did everything. The defense did everything we needed to do. Newsome balled out. Ward shut down Chase. I mean, and it comes down to the kicker. If we're going to play these kind of games, that's why they got rid of Hopkins, because they couldn't trust him. And now, how do you trust this guy? How do you trust Holy Schmidt? You can't. You just can't. So I'm sure they'll be rolling kickers in here tomorrow, trying them out. They're going to have to. I mean, how do you go forward? They'll bring Dusty back, probably. That's what they'll do. I mean, there were some little things that it's the drops, Judy, and, like, I get it. Like, those things happen, but they're big. He's got to make that one. He's got to catch that ball. But DeJuan Jones with the holds, we talked about that on the backside. But in the end, like, all of those things didn't come back. They didn't kill us. They didn't take us out of a chance to win. The defense did what they needed to do. Got the ball back when we needed to get the ball back. The offense still got in a position, scored a touchdown. All we got to do is hit an extra point to tie the game. Can't do that. Defense gets the ball back. Offense goes right down the field. Gets us in position to kick a field goal to take the lead late in the game. Can't do that. We completely beat ourselves. Actually, no. The kicker, Andre Schmidt, completely beat us. Bottom line. So what did we learn? Let's talk about it. Here's what we found out. Joe Flacco still got it. And if you're going to sit here and try to tell me that he doesn't, you're wrong. That guy played his butt off. And, man, he made some throws, and his arm is as strong as anybody in the league. So, I mean, there were times where he escaped from trouble and still was able to put the ball in a spot where the receiver can make a play. And you can't ask for much more than that. He threw it away when he needed to throw it away. Bottom line is Joe Flacco has still got it. And that game was stolen from him. And you could see it on his face afterward. He said that they played like a team that, they played like a team that still needs to learn how to, like kind of close it out and how to win. Here's the other thing we learned. The rookies that we have, they're studs. I mean, you saw it, and I know everybody's going to say, oh, Mason Graham, we talked about this. It's not about him making, and I know he had that one, and he almost had that tackle in the backfield, and he missed it, and everybody's probably going to want to talk about that. But he still wreaked havoc on that play. He still caused the running back to change directions. But it's the things that he's doing to allow Myles Garrett or McGuire. We got the 3 sacks. Garrett got 2 of them. It's what he's doing up the middle that helps him out. Schlesinger, our leading tackler yesterday. Yeah. Stud. And then Dylan Sampson. I mean, he's our RB1. I mean, there's no doubt that he's our RB1 going forward. Until Judkins' situation gets settled, Sampson is your RB1 because Jerome Ford looked like a complete mess. Why we're trying to still run him up the middle, I don't know. But then we're throwing the Sampson on the I don't know why we're not throwing it to Ford out there. Why are we trying to run him like he's Derrick Henry? I don't know. We're still doing that. So part of it in my head it's not Ford's fault, but he just looks slow. You could see why he was going to be RB3, and they said, hey, you can stay if you take a pay cut. You can see why. Because Sampson got out there, and he looked fast. He's catching everything. I mean, guy, you couldn't ask for anything more. Now, here's another thing I learned. Kevin Stefanski needs to learn how to manage the clock at the end of a half. And he said after the game when he was asked about it, we just didn't want to leave them with enough time at the end. But you just gave up on a drive at the 30-yard line. Like we were at worst we had a field goal shot, and what are we doing? We had 3 timeouts coming out of that 2-minute warning, and we do the quarterback sneak, and the clock's running. It's nothing and the clock's just running, and the clock's just running, and the clock's just running, and we're just dilly dallying around. Like I don't get it. why we weren't more aggressive in that situation and why we were taking our time. And by aggressive, I mean run the hurry up. Get everybody in, or call a timeout, get set up, call 2 plays, in the timeout, get up there and run 2 play back to back. Do something. Nah, we're just going to dilly-dally around and then kick the field goal to cut the lead. I was losing my mind. Horrible clock management at the end of that game. Here's what else I learned. This offense has the ability to overcome mistakes, even though there were those drops, even though there were those DeJuan Jones penalties that hurt us in critical spots. 1st and 15, 1st and 20, 2nd and 15, it doesn't seem insurmountable anymore. Not with Super Joe and the weapons that we have. Doesn't feel insurmountable at all. And you saw it the whole game. They just kept overcoming those mistakes, whether it was, getting an opportune pass interference call because these guys couldn't keep up with our guys, anything, all of it. Flacco throwing somebody open, whatever it was. I mean, I thought the play calling, everything, I can't complain about that. It's clock management I'll complain about, but the play calls, no. This might be the first game I'm not going to complain about Stefanski's play calling because the offense just kept coming back and overcoming the mistakes. And the defense kept getting the ball back for us. Can't complain about that. Speaking of the defense, you know what we learned? This defense is everything we thought it was going to be. 100%. You saw it. I mean, what's not to like about what you saw defensively? Outside of that first drive, which, I don't know, maybe they were still, they were trying to get their feet under them or whatever, or, first game jitters, I don't know. But that first drive, we were getting gashed a little bit. But after that, man, they just settled in, and the Bengals had to work for every single yard they gained. I mean, come on. You hold Burrow to 114 yards. I didn't have that on my bingo card. I didn't think he'd get the 300, but I didn't think he would. I didn't think he wouldn't get the 200. Even I didn't think that. And I'm a glass half full guy over here. So the defense, I mean, you cannot ask for anything more than what our defense did. And I'm gonna say the same thing about the offense. The special teams, though, and this is what we learned. As we said, and I've been talking about this since before the first preseason game. The field goal kicking situation and special teams being a liability. And it is 100%. And we had a viewer comment the other day. Somebody asked, is Bubba Ventrone, is he on a hot seat? And I said, he might be, because this was a big, big decision to go with Schmidt over Hopkins. And I don't know, I'm sure there are other people involved in this decision, but they made that decision. And he's the special teams coach. And look what happened. The other thing I'm going to say is this, that DeAndre Carter on his kick returns, if he runs into the back of somebody one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. What are we doing on that? The only thing we could count on in special teams, which we've been saying for weeks, months, is the android, Bojorquez. That's it. He's the only thing you could count on right now in special teams. But DeAndre Carter keeps running into people on these kickoff returns. What are you doing? Look for a hole. So the special teams, the special teams right now are a complete mess outside of the android. That's it. So, but you know me, I'm glass half full guy. And here's what I'm going to say. If this is our floor, the sky's the limit with this team. I mean, if this is going to be where we start, and we're on the ground floor, and we're getting on the elevator here, and we're going up, we're in a really good spot. I mean, we were right there with a chance to win it. What else could you ask for? And I won't even say a chance. The Bengals did not beat us. I can't even, it's hard for me to even say we beat ourselves because we didn't. We put ourselves in a position to win twice, and the kicker blew it. That's what it comes down to. So that's what we learned. If this is our floor, then the sky's the limit with this team. So the other thing we might have learned is this. The prediction pen may know what it's talking about. Because remember, the prediction pen called Myles Garrett's sack, said that was a no-brainer, and he got 2. And it also said the Browns were going to lose. And I didn't think there wasn't a bone in my body that thought we were losing that game. And we didn't lose that game. The kicker did. Unbelievable. And this is why it's so hard to be a Browns fan, folks, because it's not just the lose, it's the way we lose some of these games. And that's it. I mean, balls that are right in the hands of our receivers that pop out and land into the defensive back of the other team. The kicker, you set him up perfectly for a game-winning field goal, and he pushes it right. Can't make an extra point to tie the game after like it is what people say around here. It's such a Browns way to lose, and it was. But here's what I'm going to say: we did not lose to the Bengals. The Bengals didn't beat us, is what I should say. The Bengals did not beat us. We lost, but the Bengals did not beat us for sure. So now on deck, the Ravens. And they had that game last night with Buffalo, but we're not worried about that. We're looking ahead, and this is what they have to do now. And Stefanski talked about it. It's like they're going to learn from this, and they got to flip the script and move on. There's still 16 more of these to go, folks. So. And like I said, if that was our floor and we can learn from it and just eliminate some of these mistakes and find a kicker who can make a 35-yard kick, we're gonna be fine. So the storyline, at number one, everybody's gonna be talking about the kicking. Like, what are we gonna do about the kicking situation? Because how can you trust this? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hopkins back here before the week is out and Schmidt gone. Here's the thing with Schmidt. I mean, he was like the kicker of the year in like 2019. It's not like he's a rookie that we just drafted or signed as a free agent he wasn't in this year's draft. This guy's been around. If he was any good, he would have been kicking for somebody already. He wouldn't have been on a beach, and he wouldn't be on our practice squad last year if he was any good. And this is who they went with. We talked about this, folks. Your choice was to go with Hopkins, who you couldn't trust, or go with the guy who, I don't know, maybe we can trust him. Those were your options. And this is where we're at, 0-1 because of this situation. So that will be the number one storyline heading into this game. Number two, here's the Ravens receivers aren't as good as the Bengals receivers, but their quarterback is a completely different thing altogether. Lamar Jackson he's ridiculous. What else are you going to say? So going into there, can we control him like we did with Burrow? I mean, we get a little bit of, we get something back on the matchups, but if our defense can just keep him in that pocket and keep him corralled, that's the other storyline going in. How is this defense going to be able to handle Lamar Jackson? They did a great job on Burrow. Can they come up with a repeat performance in Baltimore on Lamar Jackson? And the big thing is how is this team going to bounce back from this? I think they will. I think they'll be chomping at the bit because of the way this game ended. I think they'll be chomping at the bit to get back at it and start moving forward. But I'll tell you what, folks, here's the thing. I'll take this over what we had last year any day. Is it a loss? Yes. But what a great game we played. I am so proud of the way they played. Bottom line, the kicker, not so much. Holy Schmidt. Holy Schmidt. Perfect name for him. It is the perfect name. Now, the Bengals didn't beat us. The Browns may have lost, but the viewer comments always win. And Elshon came right after me and said, I can't wait to hear what you have to say. All that Bengals defense is horrible. We're going to run all over them. They had the worst defense last year. Elshon says, well, guess what? They have a new defensive coordinator with new players, 2. Shake my head. Horrible takes all week by you, Grizzer. And I knew it was going to bite us. Not horrible takes, because we were not beaten by the Bengals. We outplayed them in every facet. The only thing that was missing was a kicker who could make an extra point or a 35-yard field goal. That's it. That is it. We outplayed the Bengals. You're not going to convince me otherwise. You're just not. We outplayed them in every facet except for our field goal kicker once again. RJ 66. Not looking too good for the Browns with Flacco. Put the rookies out there. Give the people what they want. Well, the rookies are out there. And Flacco was not the problem. Flacco was steady. I mean, he looked like the vet. I mean, you're not going to talk your way out of this one. Flacco was solid, more than solid. He kept getting us in a spot to win the game. I mean, you can't ask for anything more out of Flacco. And you could tell he was really bothered losing this game the way we did. And and you know he's going to be locked in and ready to go for Baltimore next week. And so it just stinks that Flacco couldn't have gotten that first win, and we should be 1-0. We really should be. There's no other way around it. King Liquid, 6109 says Bengals 17, Browns 16, Bengals 1-0, Browns 1-0. Yeah, all of that is true, but you can't say the Bengals beat the Browns. They didn't. The Bengals did not beat the Browns. We beat them in every single facet. So sorry, King. Just not true. And then we'll end with real Trillion because the day started off on a bad note. And then the game happens. But I'll read you the take, and then I'll give you my take. Of all the players you mentioned in the video, now this was yesterday's video. I'm sure they have images available for your thumbnail, but you use Shador on several videos like this one and never even mention his name. Using his likeness and a dramatic tagline as clickbait is misleading at best and downright dishonest at worst. Do better. Now, here's the thing. That is not totally correct because Shador, we talked about him the previous 2 days, and I told Fan Arch we can use Shador on Fridays and Saturday's show because Shador is a big part of the Saturday show because we did the clicker thing, the prediction pen, and he was part of that whole segment, so no problems there. But yesterday, 100%, I contacted Fan Arch and I said, we're not doing clickbait. There's no mention of Shador in this show. We're not doing this. And so I just want to let you know, I am actual and factual. I strive for that with every show. And I always tell you, get through the thumbnail and then just come on in and you're going to get actual and factual. And I'm telling you right now, we talked it over. I talked with Fan Arch. They know there was a misunderstanding on their end. That's why the Shador image was on there. And then they took it off immediately when I contacted him. And so it was unacceptable. And it was a bad look. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that happened. And so that's where we're at. But all right. Okay. Enough of the groveling. That's it. We got to turn it around. All right. The ball's back. We got to start barking. The Ravens, we got to go there, and they're going to celebrate 30 years of the Ravens. I'm telling you, every Browns fan in Cleveland is not happy about this. So we need to go there, and we need to knock them out. Bottom line. That we do that on Sunday, we'll forget all about Andre Schmidt and his errant kicks. 100%, and we'll be off and running the rest of the way. All right, thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back with you all week long as we get ready to rock the Ravens over there in Baltimore. I've been there. I've been to that state. It's a pretty nice state. But, man, this was a tough one to swallow. But it's okay. We've got too many more games ahead of us to worry about it. And like I said, if this is our starting point, look out. Wait until you see what we're going to be by the time we get to the end of the season. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for everything. Thanks for the support. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.